Hey everyone, Kelly Dean Allen here. Today we're going to have a look at how to play the classic and fairly easy to play solo to Killer Queen by Brian May and Queen. Like many Brian May solos, these solos are short, to the point, and basically melodically perfect, with just a few precise bends and one fairly quick ascending pull-off lick being the only two things that may give you a little bit of trouble. However, overall, this solo or these solos are pretty accessible to the late stage beginner, early intermediate player to work on, practice, and get under your belt as far as uber famous classic guitar solos go. That said, let's close in and get started, shall we? Alright then, let's have a look at how to play the two solos to Killer Queen by Brian May and Queen. We are in standard tuning for this tutorial, and the first solo right there. So the main solo to this one is in C minor. The second half of this solo is in C minor, but we're starting in D minor. Right, because we're kind of soloing over this. And then it shifts off to C. Right, but initially we're soloing over A to D. Bum, 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 right, for this part. So it's very much a D minor flavor to it. So we're starting here on the 8th fret of the B string, full step, slow bend. And when you get it to the top, you're going to pick it twice and then release it back to the natural note. And when you release it back to the natural note, you're going to go off to 6, pull it off to 5, and then grab the 7 of the G string. And then we're into this. We're going to kind of rake into the 5th fret of the high E string, onto the 6, up to the 8 of the B, and back to the 5 of the high E. And then another little pull off from 6 off to 5 of the B, finishing on the 7 of the G. That's the little D minor section, right? Now we're going to shift off to C, but we're going to start it with a pre-bend here at the 6th fret of the B string, full step pre-bend. And then you're going to release that back to the natural note. It's probably best to do this with your middle finger. So we're coming out of this, right? We just finished on that 7 of the G with our ring finger. So we're going to grab that 6, get it into a pre-bend, and then release it. And then skip off to the 3 with your index of the high E. And then a little pull off from 4 off to 3 of the B, finishing on the 5 of the G. Right? Finishing the first solo with this. So 3 of the high E, 4 on the 6 of the B, and then 3, 4, 3 of the B, finishing on the 5 of the G. Right? And then we're into sliding into this F note here at the 3rd fret of the D string. So that's the first solo. Right? And then we're going to slide into this F note here at the 3rd fret of the D string twice. And then immediately after that, we're going to slide into this little double stop here on the 3 and 4 of the G and the B twice. And then you're going to repeat that. And then you're going to slide into that F one final time, and then we're leading into the main solo, right, with this. This is actually 3 guitars, so we kind of have to mimic it, right? But one guitar is doing this, 8, 9, 10, 13 of the B, right, sliding into that 13. Another guitar is doing this, 8, 9, 10 of the G, sliding into 14. And another guitar is doing this, 8, 9, 10 of the D, sliding into 13, right? You can't play that all on one guitar, but you can kind of mimic it. Kind of like that. just on the D and the B string, right? 8, 9, 10, muting the G string in between, and then just slide into that 13 of the B, which leads into the main solo, which is in C minor. So we're in two positions. This is the first half of the solo is in this position, starting on the root note here at the 15th fret of the A string. Second half of the solo is the next position up, starting on the 15 of the A. Kind of the C natural minor. We do touch upon this B note twice, actually, and that's not in the scale, but we're playing over this. At the point that we touch upon that B note, we're playing over this descending bass line. Right, and it goes down to this B flat here, starting on the E flat. And when we get to the B is when he hits that B note, right? So that's why it makes sense to hit that note when he does. So the solo starts like this. Right, so we're on this, starting on a C note here at the 13th fret of the B string, double hit. Then we're going to grab the 15th fret of the G string, pick it, and then give it a quick little pre-bend, and then release it off to 12. Right? Into this. Kind of right into the 13 of the high E. Hit that twice. Onto the 15 of the B, 16, pull it back off to 15, and then off to 13 again. Right? And then we're going to repeat the opening of the solo. Exactly the same way, right? So that's the intro to the solo. And then we're into this. So we're going to grab this 15 of the B string, double hit, and then off to 12. And then we're going to do this little ascending pull-off lick, pulling 13 off to 12, 15 off to 13, 16 off to 15, and then 18 off to 16. Right? That's a little bit tricky at speed. And then you drop right into a full step bend on that 18 of the B string, right? So, up to that point from the main solo. Right, now we're into this full step bend on the 18. And we're going to release that bend back to the natural note. Right, you're going to pick it at the top and then release it back to the natural note. And then we're going to go 16, 18 of the B down to the 15 of the high E. Right, back onto that 16 of the B. Then we're going to drop onto the 18 into a pre-bend. Release that pre-bend of the 18 of the B off to 16 and then roll up to that B note on the 16 of the G. And then you're going to grab that 18 of the B again, back to that B note and slide it back to the 15. Right? And then you're going to go 17 off to 15. Drop onto that 18 for a double bend of the B string. Release it back to the natural note. And then we finish the solo with this. So we're going to give that 18 a bend again, then grab the 18 of the high E with our pinky. And then 3 bends of that 18. And then the final one, you're going to raise it another half step to finish the solo. And that is how you play that solo. So from the beginning of the main solo. And there you have it. That is how you play the solo, the two solos to Killer Queen by Brian May and Queen. Certainly hope you enjoyed the tutorial, found it helpful, and if you did, please hit that like button right down there. Maybe drop me a subscribe if you haven't done that already, as that would be very kind. Hope you're well out there in your little guitar corner of the world, wherever that may find you, and we will see you next time. Cheers.